I was assigned to teach English to a 17-year-old boy who by all accounts had an elementary school reading level. I came prepared with my graphic organizers and my literacy strategies just like I was taught in college. We sat in my classroom and struggled over short stories, and he was trying, he really was, but he wasn't making progress. It felt hopeless in the room between us, and I didn't know what to do from there. But thanks to the team at Centerpoint School in northwestern Vermont, specifically Katie Decker, John Grimm, and Mitch Barron, I learned something new: unconditional positive regard. Unconditional positive regard could be called a strategy, but I prefer to think of it as a stance, a way of being. One of my teachers likes to joke about the unconditional positive regard ray, but I like that image of sunlight, of something that our students can sit in and get used to. Unconditional positive regard means this: I care about you, you have value, you don't have to do anything to prove it to me, and nothing is going to change my mind. I'll say that again. I care about you, you have value, you don't have to do anything to prove it to me, and nothing's going to change my mind. It's simple and it's endlessly complex. Let's look at what it means. I care about you. Being in an authentic relationship is hard, whether it's with your peers, your coworkers, your partner, your family, and even your students. To be in an authentic relationship, we have to truly get to know each other. And my students have to get to know me, not just the teacher me that's supposed to be an impenetrable force at the front of the classroom, but the real me with all my complexity. And I have to get to know my students with all of theirs. We do this through lots of listening, whether it's a really tough conversation about their family history, or whether it's a silly explanation of how to get a high score on Flappy Bird. I listen to it all because it all matters. When I see you as a whole and complex human being, I cannot help but care about you. You have value. You have value. When you live unconditional positive regard, everyone has value. Your value are your strengths, your interests, your unique perspective, and that's something positive that you bring. When I see your value, there is no chance of you falling through the cracks. At our school, we demonstrate our students' value through including them in everything. We cook lunch for the whole school together every day. We design curriculum together, and we learn together. We help students see the value in themselves and in each other. With my student, it was essential to start in a place of strength, interest, and value, and for him that was basketball. He was a wonderful athlete and had an encyclopedic knowledge of sports. So we stopped reading short stories, and we started reading sports journalism. Slowly but surely, we began to develop a common language. I learned with an open mind, and we started getting somewhere. You don't have to do anything to prove it to me. If your value is truly unconditional, then your value as a learner doesn't depend on your grades, on your behavior in the classroom, on even whether you come to school or how often. You just have that value. At Centerpoint, we don't have letter grades and we don't rank students against one another because that value is unconditional. If you're not making progress in the classroom, then instead of looking at whether you can bend to fit how I'm teaching, we look at how the teacher can adjust how she's teaching to fit that student. With my student, he didn't have to prove to me that he was intelligent or resilient or kind-hearted. I just had to find a way to let those things shine through. So we stopped meeting in the classroom and started meeting in the gym. 10 minutes of basketball drills for me, 10 minutes of literacy skills for him, repeat for an hour, and that was the way that he could let his value shine through. And nothing's going to change my mind. This is the hardest part of unconditional positive regard, and this is the most important. This is the meat of the work that we do. Unconditional positive regard means that nothing is going to get me to stop caring about you. Not even if you call me names, not even if you fail all your classes, not even if you drop out of school. This doesn't mean I have to be happy with all the choices that you make or supportive of them, but it means that instead of saying, I'm so disappointed in you, or I know you can do better, it means that I say, I think we could work together next time and make a different choice. Unconditional positive regard means that I'm not going to stop caring about you, even when you're pushing against me so hard I feel like I'm going to fall over. It means that I have to do the emotional work to maintain perspective. I have to let go of my own ego. When I was student teaching, a veteran teacher told me that working with tough kids was like trying to open the lid of a jar that's stuck. I might not be the one to get it open. Someone else might be. I could just get it loose. I have to let go of my own ego, because if I hold on to a savior complex that I'm going to fix my kids, then I lose sight that I'm just one small piece in their larger journey. When my student was toward the end of his time at our school, he was having a really hard time attending, so we drove to his house every day to pick him up. 9 times out of 10, it would be too hard and he wouldn't get in the car. I would drive back to school by myself and reflect. It would have been so easy to say, you know what, he doesn't care about school, so I'm just going to give up. It doesn't matter. It wasn't easy to drive out there every single day with a genuine hope that today would be the day he's going to turn it around together with us. But showing up was the most important thing I could do. Showing up meant that even when you have lost all hope for yourself, I'll hold that hope for you for a little while. You know, our school didn't open the jar, so to speak. He dropped out of our school after a long process. But I did hear that 2 years later, he graduated high school. I don't think it became easy for him to attend school, but I do like to think that he thought of all those moments with me and his other teachers showing up, holding our unconditional positive regard, and he was able to translate that into a little shred of hope that he could hold for himself. And here's the thing, it's not just me with that one student that one time. It's everybody at my school, from the office manager to the director of the school and all the teachers in between, holding unconditional positive regard for every single one of our students all the time. It is not easy. We mess up, we help each other, but when we're doing it right, when that unconditional positive regard ray is going on full blast, it's pretty magical. So here's my challenge to you. Practice feeling this for one student. I care about you. You have value. You don't have to do anything to prove it to me, and nothing is going to change my mind. Practice feeling how it challenges you and see the difference that it makes. Last week, the Dalai Lama tweeted, "There needs to be a systematic approach to introducing inner values, a warm-hearted concern for all human beings into education." That is unconditional positive regard. Let it start with you. Thank you.